morning, viewers. You are still with me, Shiva komahnesi. Today, I will bring a bright news about dozens dead after Ukraine railway station hit by a rocket. Two Russian rockets hit a train station in Kramatorsk after Ukraine Friday, April 8, 2022. The station was used to evacuate civilians from areas bombarded by Russian forces, citing Reuters, and at least 39 people were killed. The train station was packed with women, children, and the elderly struggling for fighting in eastern Ukraine on Friday morning. Last Tuesday, Russia launched a missile for Ukraine on one of the trains in the city of Kramatorsk. At the time of the missile launch, the condition of the train was filled with passengers using rail public transportation. Starting for men, women, the elderly, minors also at the time boarded the train which was bombed yesterday by the Russian side. According to Ukraine, at least 39 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in the explosion. According to train officials, it was filled with thousands of passengers. According to Ukraine, at least 39 people have been killed and more than 100 injured in the explosion. According to train officials, it was filled with thousands of passengers. There are some snippets of the situation that occurred after bombing incident on the train in the Kramatorsk area. The Russian government has denied allegations that its military carried out a missile attack on Kramatorsk station, eastern Ukraine. Friday, April 8, 2022, the Kremlin said the allegations were untrue. The Kremlin stated that the incidents reported by more than 30 people were actually attacks by the Ukrainian military. This is to make Russia's position in the international world increasingly cornered. Ukrainian officials say Russian troops have regrouped for a new offensive and that Moscow plans to seize territory in eastern Ukraine, especially the visiting Donbas of Russia. The Russian military and senior officials have expanded a draw effort on attacks against civilians, with no claims without evidence that the civilians in the Kiev suburb of the Bucha were injured. The killing civilians during the Russian occupation of the city has been widely featured. Three trains carrying refugees were blocked in the same area of Ukraine on Thursday after an airstrike on the line, according to the head of Ukrainian Railways. Ukrainian officials say Russian troops have regrouped to continue the offensive and the Moscow plans to take as much Donbas as possible. The region in eastern Ukraine that borders Russia.
Railway terminal. People crowded, waiting for the trains to be evacuated to the safe territory. They hit these people. There are witnesses, there are videos, there are remnants of the missiles and dead people. about 30 killed and 300 wounded as of this moment just there. Again, this is just a rank and file railway terminal, just an ordinary town in the east of Ukraine. This is how Russia came to protect the Donbass.
Authorities in some areas asked Ukrainian civilians to leave while it was still possible and the situation was relatively safe from Russian attacks. Accepting the victim took place slowly due to the difficulty of reaching out to evacuate the victims. Therefore, a difficult evacuation were paid by the Russians to bomb the train so that all security personnel were bomb mobiles to rescue the victims. However, the Russian side denies carrying out the bombing and denies involvement in the attack, with a Kremlin spokesman saying it had no scheduled missions in this area.
Нанесен удар тактической ракетой .У по железнодорожному вокзалу города Краматорска. Тактические ракеты .У, обломки которой обнаружены в районе железнодорожного вокзала Краматорска, применяются только украинскими вооруженными силами.
Currently, the station is filled with survivors and waiting for the trains to be evacuated to safety, given the fear of Ukrainians over the explosion that occurred in Kramatorsk earlier. Then the Russian invasion now focuses on the east of the two rebel areas in Donetsk, where there are Kramatorsk and Luhansk. The British Ministry of Defense says any mass transfer from Ukraine to Ukraine is likely to take at least a week as evidence of increased human rights or human rights abuse in Europe. Earlier, two Russian missiles hit the Kramatorsk railway station on Friday morning local time. Civilians are evacuated from this station daily by trains that go to cities in the western and central Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry, the RIA news agency report, said that the missiles that hit the station were used only by the Ukrainian military. It admits that the Russian armed force did not target anything in Kramatorsk on Friday. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President said there were no Ukrainian troops at the station. In a statement, the Ukrainian Railways Authority said three trains carrying refugees were blocking in the same area on Thursday local time after an airstrike. The victim took place slowly due to the difficulty of reaching out to evacuate the victims. Therefore, a difficult evacuation were paid by the Russians to bomb the train so that all security personnel were bomb mobiles to rescue the victims. However, the Russian side denies carrying out the bombing and denies involvement in the attack, with a Kremlin spokesman saying it had no scheduled missions in this area. Then the Russian invasion now focuses on the east of the two rebel areas in Donetsk, where there are Kramatorsk and Luhansk. The British Ministry of Defense says any mass transfer from Ukraine to Ukraine is likely to take at least a week as evidence of increased human rights. That's all news for today. Thank you and see you.